Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I would say Journey Across the Galaxy, but we're done with our Journey Across the Galaxy. I am now going to start a new playlist called Return from Beagle Point, since that's where we are right now. If you missed the last episode, be sure to go back and watch that. We sold off all of our exobiology data, as well as our cartographic data, and we went from about 1.2 billion credits up to 3.5 or 3.6-ish billion credits. Not nearly as much as we were kind of hoping that we were going to get, but as it is right now, we still need to make our way all the way back across the galaxy to the bubble where all of our ships are, and hopefully by then, I'm expecting by then, we'll have made enough money that we can buy our fleet carrier, which is the plan, and then start moseying around the galaxy in that fashion. But for now, we have a long journey ahead of us. Unfortunately. I think I do want to go ahead and replot my route, however. We'll go ahead and start using the jet cone boosts to hopefully reduce the number of jumps it's going to take us to get back. We were kind of going... Did it finish? Oh, it's... All right, so we had 216 jumps before with the route that we had. We're gonna add neutron stars in the... Okay, so that took off a few jumps, not too many, but you know, it is what it is. Let's double check one last time and make sure that we actually did have the neutron stars available for... okay, so non-sequence stars, and we want to apply our filter to the route there. So now that we're including jet cone boosts and we have all of our proper filters set up there, it doesn't look like that's going to allow us to change anything though. So that's all right. We're going to go ahead. We sold off all of our stuff. We've repaired all of our stuff. Everything's at 100% now. So we should be good to start our return trip back to the bubble. No sense hanging around here at Beagle Point. There's nothing really to see here. I guess we should probably visit... I've already visited it before, but we should probably, for the channel at least, go ahead and visit the Beagle Point. What's going on here? Okay. We should go ahead and visit the Beagle Point... What's it? I don't even know what it's called. I don't want to say point... I guess it's a point of interest, right? Like, I guess that's what you would call it. So let's go ahead. We'll head over here. We'll scan it and read the cool little text that's over there, just so that those of you who have never seen Beagle Point can at least see it. But there's no special graphical looking cool thing over here that we're going to go see. No special, whatever you want to call it, visually interesting spectacle to see here. It's just a place that a famous expedition went once, and that's why we come here. So that's the end of that. Let's hop into here. We'll scan this. We'll read off the text just for the channel's posterity, and then we'll start our trip all the way back. Oh, I kind of screwed that up. Oops. Then we'll start our trip on the way back to the bubble. So yeah. Almost there. Okay, and then the problem that I have is that I'm not sure... I don't remember how to target anything with the keyboard here. So let's go look at our ship controls. I haven't had to target anything in a very long time, so I don't remember. Let's see, targeting. Select target ahead is T. That should scan. Just wait for that to finish. Distant Worlds 2 was an ambitious 5-month expedition to the far outer rim. It launched from the Pleione system in January 3305 and reached its final destination of Beagle Point in May. The purpose of the expedition was to unravel the mysteries of the galaxy and to construct a starport at Sagittarius A star. This beacon marks the final Distant Worlds rendezvous point, which was visited by 3,747 commanders during the expedition. So there you go. that is our, that's what the last few months of our trip have kind of led to. We've done basically all that we can trying to do our journey across the galaxy, but now as we head back to the bubble, we're going to have the nice view of the Milky Way in our windshield right here. So let's go ahead and get started. We have 206 jumps to get all the way to this next sector back over here, and it's going to take us a while. It's going to take us a while to get back on this journey. Probably as long, it's going to take us as long to get back to the bubble as it took us to get out here to Beagle Point. So hopefully you guys are in it for the long haul. Be sure to check back on these episodes. I do try to publish daily, except for, you know, once or twice a week. We'll try to expedite this as much as we can using the neutron stars, but it's still going to take quite a while. For those of you who are just joining the series, the primary purpose of this goal has been exobiology, as well as saving up enough money for the aforementioned fleet carrier. What we typically end up doing is we will pop the discovery scanner, as you just saw, do a fuel scooping operation to top off our fuel tanks, and then if there are enough bodies in the system to justify it, we'll go ahead and do a full-on full spectrum system scan to see if there are any A, high-value planets in the system, or B, any or biological signatures on some of the planets. I do set a loose limit of 15 bodies for whether we decide to scan a system or not, because, you know, scanning 30 to 40 bodies can get kind of time consuming. I mean, we want to try to balance getting decent amount of scans done. Yeah, see, like this one here has 38. We're not going to bother. We want to balance getting a decent amount of exploration done with also just trying to make progress towards our destination. So that's kind of what we have going on. I do typically try to have a topic of discussion, and I don't really have one other than it's moderately disappointing that we got all the way out here, sold all of our data, and I think some of us had unrealistic expectations as to how much money we were going to make off of all of the stuff that we sold, because some of us, I had some people leaving comments that were saying that they did a similar journey and came away with a lot more money than I ended up getting. Even with a 25% hit, if that's what ended up happening, still didn't make nearly as much money off of the exobiology that we did as I was kind of hoping that we would. But, it is what it is. And as I said in the last episode and, previous episodes before, this journey here is mostly just because I'm hoping that people are going to want to watch it and enjoy kind of hanging out in space and doing some exobiology and maybe listening to an interesting topic here and there. As long as people are interested in watching, that's the primary goal for me, and I can't be too disappointed as long as you guys are continuing to enjoy the series. So that's really what's going on. But I have to say, I think most of us who have been watching, who have been on this journey for quite a long time, probably a little bit disappointed with the final number that came out from selling all of our stuff. A little bit frustrating that that's how that ended up happening. Nothing we can do about it other than to try to make at least that much on our way back to the bubble. Because if we can, we'll definitely have enough money to buy our fleet carrier, and then hopefully some of you guys will be interested in joining the crew, I guess, if you want to call it that. Bring some of your ships along and store it in the fleet carrier and kind of hop around the galaxy together. That'd be kind of interesting and fun. Maybe set up a weekly live stream where we move the carrier, and that'll be kind of an additional thing that we can do for the channel to help you guys participate and all of that kind of stuff. I think it would be kind of interesting. So anyways, that's kind of the plan moving forward. But for now, we need to start making our way back and hopefully find a lot more exobiology targets to grab so that we can get our elite rank status. Here we go. So we have 13 bodies in this system. So we're going to go ahead and do a full spectrum system scan of this area. Let's pull up from the plane of the system just to hopefully get the star out of the way of the bodies that might be nearby, and we can start doing some scans. So if you look in the top right where it says features, we are looking for biological features, and we want to find at least 2 to justify the amount of time that it's going to take for us to fly over, do the planetary scan with the probes and all of that stuff. Because if it's just 1, it's probably only going to be bacteria, and that's not really worth the time it takes to do all of this. So to fly over there, and so that's a geological. We're looking for biological. So we have 3 more chances to find something interesting here. I think that's the star's orbit. Let's see. Oh, well, helps to have the filter over in the right area. There we go. So nothing there. Nothing there. All right, well, I guess we're moving on then.
Frameshift drive charging.
It is nice that on our way back, though, we're going to be able to have a nice view of the Milky Way there. I know I've said that a couple of times, but it's just after the last couple of weeks of episodes where all we've had is mostly just black sky in front of us, it's going to be nice to have something visually interesting to look at as we're making our jumps because, you know, the Milky Way is pretty, and it's nice to be able to see that in our view as we're flying along. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be calling this, we're definitely going to be shifting away from the Journey Across the Galaxy playlist. I'm going to create a new one for this video, and it's just going to be called Return from Beagle Point, because that's mostly what we're doing. I think 100 plus episodes for a playlist is probably reasonable, because this one's probably going to be pretty close to the same thing, because it takes the same amount of time to get back as it does to get out here. Hold on, I wasn't really paying attention to how many bodies there were in this system. What does it say? And I really wish that this would go away faster. 8? Yeah, we'll go ahead and scan this. Just on the off chance that maybe there's something interesting here. Might as well. We're not, I mean, I was in a hurry because it felt like we were... Oh, that's a water world, isn't it? We're going to go and do a full-on... We're going to go ahead and do a detailed surface scan of that, because we can get a decent amount of money out of the water worlds. We're looking for water worlds, Earth-like worlds, and ammonia worlds. Those are all of the relatively high-value planetary scans that you can get. So I've been in a hurry the last week or so because we were getting really close to our what seemed like it was going to be our ultimate goal. But with the money that we made, that turns out to not be our ultimate goal. So yeah. All right, so we're looking for planets and moons and landfall planets and moves, signal sources, points of interest, and fleet carriers. Well, I mean, I guess pretty much everything except for some of these extra things here. Guess I was too distracted. That's all right though. Get ourselves turned around. We'll get a scan of this planet and then move on. Because unfortunately, we can't land on this one. Okay, I'm going too fast, and we're not circling around fast enough to get this done. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're just looking at the surface scanner over there on the bottom left of our HUD, waiting for that to say too fast, which will indicate that we are now within range of being able to fire our probes off at the planet. We'll get our detailed surface scan, and that will be added to our information banks to sell later once we get to a station, which realistically is going to be. I mean, it kind of depends on I'm setting our course based on trying to just hurry up and get back to the bubble. I'm not sure if that's actually going to take us back through to where Sagittarius A-star is. We've already been there on this channel, so I'm not necessarily trying to make that a goal again, because we've already done it here. But we do have to pass back in that direction to get back to the bubble, so maybe we'll stop at the station there to sell off everything that we have, just as a safety measure. It's probably a good idea to go ahead and do that. Let's set our next destination and start charging our frameshift drive. See if we can make a few more jumps in here before we call it a day. So we should be good. We got our full-on scan of the planet, got our efficiency target bonus, which is if you fire a certain number of probes or less to get your scan done, you get a little bit of extra cash for that target that you did. Let's try to get a few more jumps in before we're done. And ideally, because we're doing the neutron stars, every once in a while you guys will get to see us flying through a neutron star cone to supercharge our frameshift drive and get a 200-ish plus light year jump, which is, you know, not something you could typically do on your own without some kind of a, you know, what I forget what it's called, some kind of FSD boost or something like that. You can manufacture them and you get a limited number of extended range jumps, which is pretty nice. But you can accomplish the same thing by flying through the cone of a neutron star and supercharging your frameshift drive. Wears out your ship, but significantly reduces the number of jumps it takes you to get from where you are to where you're going. So So it's always nice to have. Hopefully this next system will actually have something. Feel free to leave suggestions for topics of discussion as we go through on the rest of this journey, because we have a lot of travel to get done. We have a lot of travel to get done. It's going to take us a very long time to get back. We originally started this journey back in December, and we just got here now, so yeah. It's going to take us about the same amount of time to get this done. Because as much as I would love to just speed through the entire thing like I just did the last little portion of this getting to Beagle Point, we still have to stop and scan things if we're going to make any money. So unfortunately, I think we just kind of have to accept the fact that it's going to take us another few months to get back to the bubble and acquire enough exobiology data to afford the fleet carrier and all of the modules that we want to put on it. And I want to have a reasonable amount of a buffer there so that, we're not having to worry too much about making sure we're being able to make the payments on the maintenance for the fleet carrier. Okay, this is a good place for us to go ahead and scan and see if maybe we can come up with some exobiology targets. Would be pretty sweet. Oh, what the? What? Okay. I'm in the wrong. I'm like, why does it feel so overly sensitive and ridiculous? Because I was in the wrong tool. Somehow I ended up going into the detailed surface scanner rather than the full spectrum system scanner. What do we got here? Try to scan some of this stuff. Geological. Still looking for biological systems, though. That it for that? Alright. And then we found this one here, another gas giant, which typically has a bunch of moons around it that we can scan and see if maybe we can find some decent biology. But generally, when you have the gas giants out there, they're out in the cold part, which means that any biology you find out in this direction is probably going to be just fonticula, if it's even, something other than bacteria. But unfortunately, we didn't find anything, so moving right along. Try to get as much of that Milky Way on our forward screen as we can, just for some visual variety. It's been very dark the last couple of weeks. Not a lot of stars in our field. Pretty soon we're gonna have to start looking for a planet to land on, even if we don't find biology, because that's just kind of the way that it works. Alright, this is another system that we can go ahead and do a full-on scan of. Hopefully we'll find something interesting. I know I'm not as talkative as I normally am, and that's mostly because I don't have anything. Partially it's because I'm recording this the same day that we did our reveal of Beagle Point. I have a couple of days off, but then I ended up having some time to record. Oh, there we go. But we're looking for at least 2 biological sources if we're going to stop. At the same time, though, we're far enough into this episode that it might make sense for us to just go ahead and land there. Because at the 20-minute mark, we really start looking for places to land anyway. So we might as well land on a planet that has something to scan. Doesn't mean we're actually going to scan anything. If the bacteria is very difficult to see from the ship, then we're probably going to ignore it. But for now, we can at least head off in that direction and see if maybe there's something interesting there for us to scan and make use of a planet we were going to land on anyway. Make use of a planet where we need to land anyway. So we got a couple of extra bodies over here. Does not look like we're going to get lucky with the biology in this system, but at least we'll have the one. Where's the other 2 bodies? Sometimes it gets like this. Okay, here they are. So nothing on that one. Nothing on that one. go ahead and get ourselves turned back in this direction. And I will go ahead and put a little bit of a cut in here because I need to set my joystick back up. When I was doing when I do straight up travel with no landing and anything like that, I just kind of use full on keyboard, but it requires me to reassign my keys. And if we're going to be doing close to the ground stuff, I kind of like to have the joystick available. So I'll put a cut in here so that I can reassign my keybinds, but also so that we can kind of jump to the planet over here. So see you guys in just a second. Right, we are approaching our thing, and I do have my keybinds, I think, mostly set up. Sometimes, every time I switch it, I always have to go back and I miss a little bit of things here and there that I was supposed to put back in a certain configuration, but, you know, it's nice to not have to have the keyboard, or not to have the joystick kind of in the way and doing things when you're just traveling from point A to point B. So we'll get close enough, we'll do our detailed surface scan, find out where the bacteria is on the planet with the heat map there, get down, hopefully scan some things, and we'll call it a day. I definitely wanted to make sure that I recorded this the same day because I had the idea for the new playlist and I didn't want to forget when I go do it tomorrow because I have a terrible memory and I know that's what would happen. I would end up starting the video tomorrow and totally forgetting that I wanted to make a new playlist out of this. So since there's only the one, we don't necessarily need to wait for the heat map to show up because it's going to be the only thing that's available there anyway.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Okay.
Surface scan complete.
So we'll go up at the 12 o'clock somewhere in there once we get close enough to start angling our approach. You can't ever go straight into a planet like this. They want you to do this this glide maneuver. So we'll pull the throttle back quite a bit. And I think we'll aim for like right there. So you won't typically find bacteria in a, I'm assuming it was bacteria, I wasn't paying attention. You typically won't find bacteria inside of craters. They like big flat spots. So we're gonna head over to the edge of the crater over here and hope that we get lucky and the bacteria on this planet is a different color from the snow. A lot of times it's the same color though, so we may not have a really good chance of finding anything down here. It all just kind of depends. So we'll head off in this direction, I think. Get our landing gear down to slow us to slow down our max speed. Okay, well the bacteria here is a reasonably different color, so let's go ahead and head down. You can see these big patches here. This is all bacteria. So, well, and the cool thing about the bacteria is you can actually land in it, so we can put ourselves right on top of it and just do it. As I always say when I'm landing and doing these things, I have shields for a reason. It's specifically so I don't have to be extremely careful about the way I fly, because I'm a relatively impatient person, and I don't want to have to spend 30 to 40 seconds trying to land and not worry about scratching the paint. All right, we need to get 2 more of those, and then we can go ahead and be done. Bacterium, yes, something or other. I wasn't really paying attention. I should have been. I was too busy explaining my wanting to fly around and crash into the ground with my shields. All right. So we should be able to stay relatively high because the bacteria is easy to spot. But of course, I say that, and now there's no bacteria. Oh, here we go. That's what we're looking for. Give me a landing spot. There we go. All right, we need to grab this one and then one more. And I think we'll go ahead and call it good for this episode. The first in our return trip back to the bubble. Okay. Come on, let me up. I fly very much like a helicopter when we're doing the ground skimming like this. We'll eventually find... Oh, there we go. that's it. Here it is. I knew it was right here somewhere. Oh, come on. I was good. Oh. Okay, that was a weird landing, but whatever. Anyways, hopefully you guys have been having lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button if you have, so that the YouTube algorithm will know and send the video out to as many people as possible. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so now, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your feed, and you will be able to watch it as soon as it becomes Bacterium bullaris, lime. As soon as it becomes available, channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button. Check out the list of options available there, and decide if any of those are right for you. If you're not interested in a continuing commitment, you can leave YouTube's form of a tip with that thanks button. So direct contributions such as these are greatly appreciated and a critical component to helping to turn this into a full-time gig, which is the dream. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys have enjoyed the journey so far. Be sure to come back for the rest of them, and I'll see you then.